Hey there, my brave English language learners. I've got some questions for you. Are you unhappy with your current level of English? Do you think you should have reached a higher level by now? Are you under the impression that your English cannot become any better than it is now? Perhaps feeling a bit demotivated? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I can tell you that you're not alone. We've done the research, and today we're going to share the top 8 reasons that students of English fail to reach their desired level, and suggestions to solutions. Let's get right to it. Number 1. Lack of exposure and immersion. First, let's address a common problem: not immersing yourself in the language enough. To become fluent, it's important to surround yourself with English as much as possible. Immersing yourself in the language you want to learn is one of the most effective ways to become fluent. How about you? Do you feel you get enough exposure to English every day? Tell us in the comments below. When you immerse yourself in a language, you're exposing yourself to the language in a natural and authentic way, which helps you to learn and understand it more easily. One of the key benefits of immersion and increased exposure is that it allows you to pick up the language through context. When you're exposed to the language in real-life situations, you're more likely to understand the meaning of words and phrases in context, which helps you to learn the language more quickly and easily. Another benefit of immersion is that it allows you to pick up the language's natural rhythms, intonations, and pronunciation. When you're listening to native speakers and trying to communicate with them, you'll naturally pick up on the way the language is spoken, which will help you to sound more natural when you speak. Additionally, immersion allows you to practice your language skills in a natural setting. When you're in an environment where the language is spoken, you'll have more opportunities to practice speaking, listening, reading, and writing in the language, which will help you to improve your skills further. It's therefore safe to say that increased exposure and immersion is an essential part of becoming fluent in a language. It allows you to learn the language in a natural and authentic way, improve your listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills, and become more comfortable communicating with native speakers. So, if you're in the process of learning English as a second language, try to immerse yourself as much as possible by finding English-speaking friends, watching English movies and TV shows, and reading English books and articles. Just wanted to remind you that if you're getting some value out of this video, do consider helping us. Subscribe, comment, give a like, and don't forget to hit that notification button. Now let's get back to business. Number 2. Not practicing enough. You have probably heard this one before, but it's 100% true. Not practicing enough is a serious issue. I know it can be intimidating to speak a language that's not your first, but it's crucial for fluency. You can watch the greatest ever tennis player on TV playing, and you will learn things like movement and ideal positioning on the tennis court. That's great. But to really learn how to play tennis well, you need to pick up the racket and start practicing. It's just the way it is. It is through practice that you will develop your listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills and gain confidence in using the language. Practicing language in a consistent way is key to making progress. Setting specific goals, breaking them down into smaller tasks, and tracking your progress will help you to stay motivated and on track. Additionally, practicing with a tutor or language exchange partner can help you to receive feedback and improve your skills more quickly. I need to mention our channel here. We upload new content every day for all levels of language learners, so check in on us from time to time. In a nutshell, practicing is an essential part of becoming fluent in a new language. It helps you to develop the 4 main skills and gives you the opportunity to practice using the language in real-life situations. So, make sure to practice consistently and use various methods to improve your language skills. Number 3. Running away from grammar. While speaking and listening are important, grammar is still the foundation of language. Are you one of the students of English running away from grammar? If so, here's today's motivational speech for you. I'll make it short, I promise. Understanding grammar rules and structures is crucial for being able to communicate effectively in the language. Without a solid understanding of grammar, you may struggle to express yourself clearly and may be misunderstood. That's bad. Also, improper grammar can make a language learner sound uneducated or unskilled. Nobody wants that. And worse, a lack of attention to grammar can lead to mistakes that can be obvious to native speakers, and can cause them to not take the learner seriously. Let's not forget that not understanding grammar can make it difficult for you to comprehend more complex texts and conversations. As you know, grammar is the way that the language connects words, phrases, and sentences. A good command of grammar allows you to make sense of the meaning of words and phrases in context. And perhaps the most important aspect of all, not focusing on grammar can lead to the development of bad habits and make it harder to correct them later on. The solution to all this ugliness is quite simple. Make sure that you're studying grammar regularly. Take grammar classes, use a grammar book or app, or study with a tutor. Number 4. Not studying idioms and colloquial expression. Don't underestimate the importance of studying English idioms. These are phrases that native speakers use that don't always make literal sense. They are a fundamental part of any language and are used frequently in everyday conversation. They can help you to sound more natural and make your language more interesting. Everybody wants that, right? Idioms and colloquial expressions are often not literal, and require knowledge of the culture and idiomatic use of the language to understand. Without understanding these expressions, it can be difficult to understand the meaning behind what someone is saying, even if you know all the words. This can be really frustrating. Idioms and colloquial expressions are often used to convey emotions or attitudes. Understanding these expressions will help you to pick up on the tone and meaning behind the conversation, which is important for effective communication and to feel part of the conversation or situation you find yourself in. Obviously, knowing idioms and colloquial expressions can also help to increase your vocabulary, which is important for being able to express yourself effectively in the language. To study idioms and colloquial expressions, you can use a dictionary of idioms. You should read texts that have a lot of idiomatic expressions and practice using them with native speakers. Don't forget we have a playlist dedicated to English expressions on our channel. Additionally, you can use flashcards and memorization techniques to help you to remember the idioms and colloquial expressions. So, make sure to include idioms and colloquial expressions in your language learning routine. Number 5. Not studying phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are multi-word verbs that are common in English and can be difficult to understand. Studying phrasal verbs is important for becoming fluent in English for several reasons. They have become a fundamental part of the English language and are used frequently in everyday conversation, much like idioms. They are a combination of a verb and one or more particles, and they can convey different meanings than the verb alone. Phrasal verbs often have multiple meanings, and the meaning can change depending on the particles used. Understanding the different meanings of phrasal verbs can help you to understand the meaning behind what someone is saying, even if you know all the words. I know from personal experience, having worked with students from many different countries, that the price of not studying phrasal verbs is high. So make an effort and dedicate a little bit of time to study them. You will not regret it. Number 6. Not learning enough vocabulary. The more words you know, the more you can understand and communicate. Make sure to study new vocabulary regularly. Studying vocabulary is important when learning English for several reasons. Vocabulary is the foundation of any language, and having a large vocabulary will help you to communicate more effectively. The more words you know, the more accurately and fluently you will be able to express yourself. Knowing vocabulary will help you to understand spoken and written texts, such as books, articles, and TV shows more effectively. The more words you know, the more likely you are to understand the meaning of what you are reading or hearing. A large vocabulary is essential for international language certificates. These tests often require a deep understanding of the vocabulary of the language. Moreover, vocabulary is crucial for more complex language use, such as writing essays, giving presentations, and having more nuanced conversations. It goes without saying that an impressive vocabulary can help you to sound more natural when speaking the language. Knowing a wide range of words will help you to express yourself more accurately, and will make you sound more like a native speaker. To study vocabulary, you can use flashcards, read texts, and practice using new words with native speakers. It's also helpful to set specific goals, break them down into smaller tasks and track your progress. Additionally, you can use apps and games that are designed to help you learn new vocabulary. Number 7. Not being patient with yourself. Becoming fluent in a language takes time and effort. Don't get discouraged if you don't see yourself progressing as fast as you would like. Not being patient enough with yourself can be a problem when learning English for several reasons. Learning a language takes time and effort. It is not something that can be accomplished overnight. Being impatient with yourself can lead to frustration and can make it difficult to stay motivated. You may expect to be fluent in a short period of time, and when you don't reach that goal, you may become discouraged and stop trying altogether. Impatience can also lead to skipping steps or not spending enough time on an essential task, which can lead to a lack of progress in your learning. Frequently, students who are impatient also neglect the importance of consistency and repetition. These are key factors when it comes to learning a language. To avoid these problems, it's important to remember that learning a language takes time and effort, and to be patient with yourself. Setting realistic goals and tracking your progress can help you to stay motivated. Additionally, reminding yourself of the benefits of learning a language, such as the ability to communicate with more people, and the potential for personal and professional growth, can help to keep you motivated. Being kind to yourself, taking breaks when needed, and not putting too much pressure on yourself are also important. Remember that advancement is not linear. You will have good and bad days, but overall you will improve. Keep working at it and eventually you will see improvement. Number 8. Not staying motivated. Not being motivated enough can be a problem when learning English for several reasons. Learning a language requires a significant amount of time and effort, and without motivation, it can be difficult to stay engaged and interested in the material. Lack of motivation can lead to procrastination and a lack of consistency in your studies, which can hinder your progress and make it more difficult to achieve your goals. Furthermore, a lack of motivation can make it difficult to stick to your study routine, and you may find yourself giving up easily when faced with obstacles or challenges. Without motivation, you may find yourself losing interest in the language and not wanting to continue learning. Lack of confidence in your abilities is also a typical consequence when motivation is low, and this can make it difficult to use the language in real-life situations. To overcome these issues, it is important to find ways to stay motivated and engaged in the learning process. We've mentioned this a couple of times already in this video, but setting specific and achievable goals for yourself really does make a big difference. Find activities or resources that you enjoy, such as watching movies, listening to music, or reading books in English, to make the learning process more enjoyable. Surrounding yourself with other people who are also learning English can also be helpful, as you can support and encourage each other. Take breaks and give yourself time to relax and recharge. Overworking yourself can be detrimental to your motivation, so make sure to schedule in some time for yourself. Lastly, remind yourself of the reasons why you wanted to learn English in the first place, and how it will benefit you in the future. So, those are the top 8 reasons you may be facing problems becoming fluent in English. Remember, fluency takes time and effort, but if you immerse yourself in the language, practice speaking, focus on grammar and idioms, study vocabulary, be patient and stay motivated, you'll get there. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a hand. Subscribe, give a like, then hit that notification button. This way you will never miss a video from us. Thanks for watching and happy learning.